The town of Islip recently presented the 2012 MacArthur Leadership Award to the family of fallen Navy SEAL Lieutenant Michael Murphy from Patchogue.
This is the annual General MacArthur Leadership Award, and it's presented to a resident of Long Island who has really demonstrated those qualities of leadership that General MacArthur represented in getting us through World War II and a very difficult time afterwards. Today we recognized Lieutenant Michael Murphy, United States Navy, who gave his life in Afghanistan and received the Medal of Honor for operations in Afghanistan. The Murphy family was very gracious in coming and accepting on Michael's behalf today, and they have been very gracious accepting all of the accolades that Americans have been bestowing on Mike for his service. It's not every day that Long Island has a hometown hero at the caliber that Michael is. He was a tremendous inspiration to all of us who served in uniform, and a tremendous inspiration to Americans who should recognize that there are men and women who are willing to put their lives on the line for the freedoms that we enjoy every day.
Michael exposed himself to certain death so as to save his comrades. That selflessness is extraordinary. That bravery is extraordinary. That love of one's fellow man and one's country is extraordinary. Now, in part it comes from how he was raised, and in part it comes from who he was.
Murphy's family says they greatly appreciate this hometown recognition of Michael's service and sacrifice.
This is a wonderful tribute to my son, and it's nice to see people continue to recognize not only Michael but his SEAL team for the sacrifices that they made. You know, interestingly enough, history will hold on to this, to my son and his team, because they are the most highly decorated Navy officers and men in naval warfare for a small unit action. It's amazing. There were 16 Bronze Stars, 3 Navy Crosses, and 1 Medal of Honor going to Michael. So these were extremely brave men, a rugged group. I absolutely believe that the small town recognitions from Patchogue were more important than any of the others. We live here. Michael was raised here. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and I firmly believe Michael became the man he became, not just because of his parents, but his school and the people from Patchogue who watched him grow, and he got the opportunity to watch them interact. So in that regard, Michael became the man he became because of Patchogue and Medford, the Patchogue-Medford area. And these ceremonies mean a lot more than any of the national ones. The Patchogue made the recognition of Michael by renaming the post office in Patchogue for Michael. The Lake Ronkonkoma Brookhaven Beach is now the Navy SEAL Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy Memorial Park. So it's these events that people continue to remember Michael and his team and the sacrifices that all our servicemen make each and every day protecting us back here at home.
And Michael's father recounted the events of that battle in Afghanistan on June 28, 2005.
Michael and his 3-man SEAL team were tasked with finding a high-ranking Taliban official who was actually the top lieutenant to Mullah Omar. And so he was inserted in the dark of night on the top of a mountain to track this large group of fighters that they had seen crossing the border. Their position was compromised, and subsequently a major battle ensued between Michael's small team and about 150 fighters. At the point when they were being overrun, Michael realized that the communication system wasn't working because of the high mountains, so he took out his satellite phone, but the only way it would work is if he could find clear air to get a satellite signal. He stepped out away from cover, and at that point Marcus described that, you know, Michael went out, sat on a rock, punched in the numbers, told headquarters that his men needed assistance. He took 2 rounds in the back, fell over, picked his phone back up, continued to relay the information they needed, and then concluded the call with "thank you." And then returned to cover. Ultimately, during or subsequently to the battle, Michael and 2 of his men lost their lives.
In 2007, Lieutenant Michael Murphy was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions. In Islip, Collora reporting.